Hello everyone, my name is Rich Keener. I'm the Village Manager for the Village of Villa Park. And today's another one of my segments where I'll be discussing an upcoming board meeting and its agenda. So today, folks, I'll be talking about the Monday, the December 7th board meeting. And on that particular day, Monday, December 7th, we have a public hearing at 6:45 to discuss our budget. And so I'll read the public hearing agenda really quickly, and then we'll go into the formal agenda. So at 6:45, there'll be a public hearing here at Village Hall talking about our budget. The hearing will be held in the Village Hall Board Chamber, second floor, located at 20 South Ardmore Avenue, Villa Park. The purpose of the hearing is to accept comment on the proposed budget for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2021 and ending on December 31st, 2021. So during that time, folks, I'll give a brief overview of our proposed budget for fiscal 2021, talk a little bit about the revenues, expenditures. It's a balanced budget. I'll be talking about how much it's balanced by. And of course, we do have the capital improvements in there as well. So a lot of capital improvements for next year, 2021 as well. So again, the public hearing starts at 6:45, ends at 7, and then the formal board meeting starts at 7. So I'm going to switch agendas and move this one out of my way. And so at 7 o'clock, the formal board agenda starts. And so number one on the formal board agenda for Monday, December 7th at 7 p.m. is the call to order. It's the roll call. Number 2 is the Pledge of Allegiance. Number 3 is the public comments on agenda items. And folks, that's the appropriate time for anyone in the audience or that happens to send me an email to read into public record, since our village hall is closed, that I can read into the record for them for commenting on agenda items. Number 4, moving forward, is amendments to the agenda. Number 5 is appointments to the boards and commissions. And so, folks, we have 5A, Traffic and Safety Commission, and we have an appointment, Jeffrey Pett, to the Traffic and Safety Commission. Moving on is number 6, our consent agenda. We have 6A, which is minutes from the public hearing held on November 23rd, 2020. 6B is minutes from the board meeting held on November 23rd, 2020. And then 6C is a bill listing for the weeks of November 23rd and November 30th, 2020 in the total amount of $1,816,387.94. Folks, moving on from Monday, December 7th is number 7, 7A, our first reading of an ordinance adopting a budget for the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, for all corporate purposes, in lieu of an annual appropriation ordinance for the fiscal year commencing on January 1st, 2021 and ending on December 31st, 2021. And so, folks, the background on that particular item is that the village's fiscal year 2021 budget ordinance allocates the continued provision of village services as well as significant capital investment as discussed during the village's budget presentation held at the November 23rd board meeting and the public hearing held on December 7th, which will be Monday's public hearing. The budget draft has been available for public inspection at Village Hall and the village's website as well. The budget covers the 12-month period from January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021. And folks, again, I'll go through the budget during the public hearing, and then we'll be talking about the budget and this item as well. And we call this the first reading of adoption of the fiscal year 2021 budget. And then the second reading will be on Monday, December 21st. And then we'll file the budget after it's approved with DuPage County on or before the last Tuesday in December. And then, of course, January 1, we'll implement the budget that we're approving. So moving forward, we have 7B for Monday night. We have a first reading of an ordinance levying taxes for the fiscal year of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, commencing on the first day of January 2021 and ending on the 31st day of December 2021. So folks, the background of this particular item is the 2020 tax levy process is underway. The library board approved their levy on September 23rd. The village board adopted a resolution estimating the tax levy on November 9th, and several abatement ordinances will be approved on December 7th, which of course is Monday night we're talking about. The total levy for the village and the library is $12,288,109 and has been abated to $11,141,831, which is an 11% increase over last year. The Truth in Taxation hearing was held on November 23rd for the public to review and comment on the levy. The final amount will likely be reduced by DuPage County due to property tax caps. A majority of the levy is subject to a 2.3% tax cap plus new growth. So folks, we're talking about 11% increase, which will be reduced because we're property tax capped in DuPage County, so it can only increase by CPI, which is 2.3% plus new growth. So it'll be lowered by then as a result of the property tax caps. So now we're moving on to number 8 of our agenda for Monday, December 7th. We have 8A, which is an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, establishing temporary executive powers pursuant to Chapter 8, Article 3, Sections 8-301 through 308 of the Villa Park Municipal Code, 65 ILCS 5/11-1-6 of the Illinois Municipal Code, and 20 ILCS 3305-11 of the Illinois Emergency Management Act. So folks, the background of this particular item, it is the policy of the Village of Villa Park that the village be prepared to address any emergency. Therefore, in response to the significant outbreak of the coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, in the United States, pursuant to Chapter 8, Article 3, Sections 8-301 through 308 of the Villa Park Municipal Code, and 65 ILCS 5/11-1-6 of the Illinois Municipal Code, and 20 ILCS 3305-11 of the Illinois Emergency Management Agency Act, it is necessary and appropriate to authorize the village president to exercise extraordinary power and authority by executive order during this state of emergency disaster to ensure that the effects of COVID-19 are mitigated and minimized, and that the residents and visitors in the village remain safe and secure. This ordinance extends the temporary executive powers contained in Ordinance 4176, approved by the Village Board on November 23, 2020, until such time that the Village Board can reconvene in an open meeting. So folks, this particular item, the temporary executive powers, has been on the agenda for many times now due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And this allows the village president certain powers, including bypassing some of the spending limits in village code, because we may need to take advantage of buying protective equipment or some cleaning supplies and bulk quantities, things of that nature that ordinarily would have to proceed through the board meeting process. And it also addresses staffing as well for the executive powers. So folks, moving on to 8B for Monday night, we have an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing the sale by public auction of surplus equipment owned by the Village of Villa Park. So folks, the background of this particular item includes the Park Division, or department if you will, has identified 14 pieces of equipment that are aging, inoperable, and no longer useful to the village, such as a 25-year-old Ariens snow blower, a 40-year-old Kelly Cresswell pavement striper, and a 20-year-old Fiscal pole saw. A list of items can be found in the document attached. It is recommended that these items be declared as surplus personal property and sold via public auction. Proceeds from the sale of the equipment would be placed into the Equipment Replacement Fund, account number 65.41015. So folks, there's a list of many different items, 14 pieces, that's going to be attached in a document that'll be placed on our website that you can open up and look at all the different equipment that'll be for sale via public auction, more than likely on Obanoff. So moving on, for the agenda for Monday night, December 7th, we have 9 ordinances abating property tax levies. As part of the annual property tax process, the village routinely abates a property tax levy for debt service when it has certain funds available to pay the debt. Abating the property tax levy means that we are informing the county that we do not need property tax revenues to pay the debt service on these bonds. This is common practice for general obligation alternate revenue bonds when there are other sufficient funds to make the debt service payments. The attached ordinances will abate property taxes for 5 different bond issues in 3 different categories of bonds: TIF 3 bonds, stormwater bonds, and library bonds. This year we will be abating all or a portion of 5 bonds as follows. So the 2017 TIF 3 refunding bonds, because we will have funds from rollover bonds to be issued. The 2017B, 2018A, and 2019A stormwater alternate revenue bonds, because the funds are available for monthly stormwater fees. And the 2018B bonds, they're also called library referendum bond, due to capitalized interest being used to make debt service payments. So folks, we have a number of ordinances. We have ordinances 9A through 9E, which each one abates different funds for different bond issuances. So 9A excuse me, is an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2020 to pay the principal of and interest on $3,010,000 worth of general obligation bonds, also known as Alternate Revenue Source Series 2017 bonds of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. Then we have 9B, which is an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2020 to pay the principal of and interest on $1,150,000 of general obligation alternate revenue bonds, also called Sales Tax Alternate Revenue Source Series 27B of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. We have 9C, ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2020 to pay the principal of and interest on $2,645,000 of general obligation alternate bonds, also called Sales Tax Alternate Revenue Source Series 2018A bonds of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. Moving on, we have 9D, which is an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2020 to pay the principal of, I'll switch my sheets of paper, and interest on $2,735,000 of general obligation alternate bonds, also called Sales Tax Alternate Revenue Source Series 2019A bonds of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. And then we have finally 9E, which is an ordinance abating a portion of the tax hereto levied for the year 2020 to pay certain interest on $5,600,000 of general obligation library bonds, Series 2018B of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. So folks, we do this on an annual basis when we have sufficient funds enough to pay for the principal and interest on certain bonds. So this year we're going to have ordinances 9A through 9E abating about 5 different bond issuance, principal and interest, because we have sufficient funds on hand to pay for that. So moving on to number 10, our resolutions section of the agenda for Monday night, December 7th, we have 10A. It's a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, adopting the fiscal year 2021 Sugar Creek Golf Course annual budget. So folks, the background on this particular item is that the Sugar Creek Golf Course Administrative Board has approved a proposed Sugar Creek Golf Course budget for fiscal year 2021, beginning on January 1st, 2021, and ending on December 31st, 2021. Proposed expenditures equal $1,096,705, and the proposed revenues equal $1,097,970, which results in a projected net profit of $1,265. According to the intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Villa Park and the Elmhurst Park District, the proposed budget must be approved by both entities prior to implementation. So folks, we do this on an annual basis, approving the Sugar Creek Golf Course annual budget. And if you recall, the golf course is co-owned by the Village of Villa Park and the Elmhurst Park District. So both entities must pass the annual budget before it's implemented on January 1st. So moving on to 10B for Monday night, we have a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, declaring official intent regarding tax increment revenue bonds. So folks, the background on this particular item is that Hawthorne Development is proposing a 2-phased mixed-use market-rate residential project consisting of 344 residential units, 12,930 square feet of retail space, and 454 parking spaces adjacent to the metro station, which is located on Ardmore Avenue. The total project cost would be approximately $115 million for both phases. In order to facilitate financing for the project, Hawthorne Development has requested that the village issue tax-exempt obligations payable solely from available tax increment revenues of the project. These bonds will not be backed by the full faith and credit of the Village of Villa Park. These bonds are for the purpose of financing a portion of the cost of the design and construction of the project. The total amount which the village intends to borrow through the issuance of the bonds will not exceed $5 million. So folks, it's, as I've just read, we have a developer interested in building a 344 residential unit housing development near the metro station on Ardmore in 2 different phases, and worth approximately $115 million. So the issuance of these TIF bonds, if you will, would be to help design the project and help with part of the construction. So folks, moving on, we have number 11 on the agenda for Monday night, which is public comments on non-agenda items. And folks, that's the appropriate time for anyone in the audience, or if you've emailed me, since our village hall will be kind of using Zoom that evening, and you may not want to come in person. So if you email me to my email address, I'd be happy to read your comments in the public record. But for those folks that are here in Village Hall, you would come to the podium and comment on items not on the agenda. Number 12 is the village clerk's report. Number 13 is the village trustees report. Number 14 is the village president's report. Number 15 would be my report, the village manager's report. And number 16 is adjournment. And folks, our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, December 21st. And again, our village hall will be open. But as the COVID pandemic is still with us, we cannot have more than 10 folks in the audience, and that includes staff and any elected officials. So if you don't want to come, just email me your comments for the agenda items or non-agenda items. I'm more than happy to read your name and the email substance into public record at the appropriate time. But you can also come to the village board meeting in person as well. You'll be asked to wear a mask, and if it's over 10 people, we may ask you to wait in a different room or just outside the chamber so that we don't go more than 10 people in the room as well. Because there will be staff there, because we're going to talk about the budget and some other things as well. So, but you can follow us on our YouTube platform and our 2 cable channels. So there's look forward to seeing you here or reading an email, or you can follow us on the cable channels and YouTube. Again, my name is Rich Keener. It's my honor to be the village manager for the Village of Villa Park. Take care, and we'll see you soon.